Hey guys, my name is Khaled from PhotoFetish, and today I'll show you how I make cars look like they're shot in the studio while they're really not. For more videos, feel free to like and subscribe to my channel by clicking the buttons below. And go check out my Instagram at Khaled or by just simply clicking the link below. Okay, let's get started. Okay guys, so now we have a picture of this Benz that I took at the LA car show last year, and we are going to make it look as if it was shot in the studio. So I have a version of it open here in Photoshop, and what we're going to do is make it look like this. So we're taking this to this. There. Okay, so first off, what we're going to do is using the pen tool, we're going to create a path around the car. And making a path around the car, we're going to be using the pen tool or shortcut P on the keyboard. And literally what we're going to be doing is, and it's over here by the way, we're going to zoom in and we are just going to make a path around the car. Let me show you real quick how this is done. So we go to the edge of the car, pull down, and then you get this. So you just outline the car, just keep going around it like this and so on. It's very tedious, but the more time you take, the better it turns out. Okay, so I have a path ready, and it's right here. Let me get rid of these. So I have a path ready, and I double clicked on it and named it car outline. And if you click on it, it shows you, if you can see, there's an outline around the car. So we are going to drag down this our selection to load as a new selection, where it's a dotted circle down here. It will give us the marching ants layout right here. We will go to the marquee tool, and we will click select and mask. This window will pop up, and let's see, it's still loading. Alright, perfect. And let's see how overlay looks over here, and we will, so this is how the selection looks cut without anything at all. And what we will do to feather it a little, we will give it a little feather. So we will give it a little feather around let's say 1.5. 1.5 looks around. And we will increase this smooth just a little bit. Maybe around, let's say 25. And the shift edge, we will move the shift edge just a little bit. Just a little bit, right about there. Increase maybe the contrast a little for the edge of the car. And voila. Okay, the most important thing right here is the output 2 is to select the new layer with layer mask. So it creates a new layer with a new layer mask, and then we click OK. So this is what it gives us right here. Okay, so behind this we want to put let's say a black background. So we'll create a layer, and to fill it we will press Shift and Delete and select black and press OK. There we go. And there we go, we have a selection on the black background. So now we will go ahead and go further in retouching the actual car. So we will name this as black, let's see, black backdrop. And alright. So now we're going to create a new layer and call it Retouch. Perfect. So this layer we're just going to use for retouching, removing any blemishes, removing any imperfections in the car. And we are going to do that by simply using heal tools, your stamp tool, and so I'm not going to go in depth about how to use the heal tool or the stamp tool, but I'm going to make another video on more in depth about how to use heal tools and stamp tools. So we are just going to use the heal tool real quick right here, and let's see, zoom in here and just simply make this smaller. Simply just retouch. So after I used the heal and the stamp tool, I came to this where that's how it looks. So see, I removed the highlights and some of the highlights and any imperfections like here, or this light here and here, and just simple imperfections in the car. Okay, so the next step is coloring the car. This is something I like to do. Is I like to recolor the car to make the colors more vibrant and pop up more. And how we do this, I'm going to create a group right here, and I'm going to name the group car color. So car color, and I am going to create a layer, include it in car color, and I'm going to name that layer body. So this body, what we're going to do here is we are going to zoom in to the car, like right about there, and using the eyedropper tool, or by pressing shortcut I, we are going to, the eyedropper is here by the way, and we are going to select a kind of like a green color from the car. That's about good. It's about right. And we are going to use the brush to brush it on to the car. So before we start brushing on the car, we are going to come here, click on the layer, and change the blending mode for the layer to color, and that will make it where we will go over the car and it will only color the car. It won't cover anything on the car. It will just paint over the green over here, and it will make it a little more vibrant. Okay guys, so after I color the car, the green of the car, this is what it looks like. So now, to make it a little more vibrant, what we are going to do is we are going to take the layer of the car and we are going to duplicate it. And so now we have two layers of the car color, and so the top layer over here, we are going to change the blending mode to Softlight, and notice how the color of the car pops. So then after, we are going to create a new layer right here, and we are going to call it metal and discolor. And this layer is going to be for metals and discoloration. So we are going to pick white for our color, because white cancels out colors, and I'll show you in a second over here. So if we press the brush button and we come over the red over here, it will completely get rid of all color. It will remove any reflections, colors, and this will help in the reflections so it doesn't really reflect and show that there's any color reflected. And you can also clean up the green if you came out of the lines like I did over here, and you just go all over any metal parts and just remove any color. So in the end it's going to look something like this. And if we notice, the colors have been removed from various parts of the car, including the front grille, the bottom metal piece, and parts of the headlights right there. Something else I like to add onto the car is to the headlights, I like to add a yellow tint to the light to make it look a little realistic. So we will come here to our color palette, go up to yellow, and we will pick a nice, let's see, nice yellow. A nice light yellow. Something like that. We will come over here and we will paint over this light over here. Something like this. Alright, so after we paint over it, we will decrease the opacity until it looks realistic. So maybe somewhere around 13 would be fine. And we'll do the same to the other headlight as well. Somewhere like that. There we go. Perfect. And it just gives an extra color to the headlight. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to dodge and burn. So to dodge and burn, we're going to create a new layer and place it at the top of all our layers, and we are going to fill it with 50% gray. So to fill it with 50% gray, we go up to contents, and again, to open up this, we press Shift, Delete, and 50% gray. Click OK. Fills 50% gray. We will go to our blending modes, select Softlight, and then using our dodging and burning tools, we will dodge and burn the car. So the shortcut for the dodging and burning tools is O, and then to switch between them, it's Shift O, and it just goes between all of them. So I usually like to start with dodging first to lighten areas up, and then I go ahead and go in and darken. So we will come up to here to the exposure, and I work usually at an exposure maybe 30. And you need to be careful, because if you overdo it, it will look unrealistic. So I come here and I sort of dodge in different areas to kind of define the car a little, sort of like that, and just kind of work it in, just like that. Okay, and then I start burning, and just use it to kind of define the shape of the car. So this is how my dodging and burning looks so far. I feel like it really defined the car from the areas like here and here. It really shaped it up and made it a little more three-dimensional. Alright, so one more thing we need to add to kind of make this car look a little more realistic is we need to add a reflection to the glass. And to do so, how I do it is I select the marquee tool, the rectangular marquee tool, or M. You can also press M, and I create a new layer actually first, and I create a marquee right over the windshield, so right about there, and I fill this marquee with white, so right there, and let's rename this windshield. Alright, perfect. So it obviously does not look realistic. So how we are going to do that is we are going to reduce the opacity to maybe around, let's say 35. And if we need to reduce it later, we will. We will transform the marquee. So we click on the layer and press Command T. And we will rotate this marquee a little bit to the right. So right about there. So it covers a section of the windshield. So sorta like something like that. There we go. So sorta something like that. Perfect. And then we will create a mask for this layer. So right down here where the mask is, right here, we will click on mask, and we will start erasing sections of the of the reflection that we don't need. Of course, black erases and white adds on. So we will use black to remove. And my hardness is around 17 to 20. Let's put it at 20. And we will start working like this with it and remove all the parts that we don't need. Sort of like this. And it's okay if you get into the lines, you can refill them by using white. So if we zoom in more here, let's see. If we zoom in like that, we can fill them back up using white, like that. So just like that. And then we will. So now we will select the black and we will soften this up. Let's put the hardness all the way down, and we will soften the windshield very lightly, like this. So right about there, so until it looks sort of soft. So it looks a little bit not realistic, so let's reduce the opacity a little to about, let's say, about there's fine. That's perfect. That is perfect. Okay, so this car looks perfect. So one more touch we're going to add is we are going to create a reflection of the car to kind of make it a kind of look like we shot it on plexiglass. So to do that, we will go back to this layer here, our car layer. We will go back to paths, click on paths, and drag it down to selection. Go back to layers and create a new layer. So this layer we are going to name reflection. And we are going to go down to this car, do Command C, and then go up here, do Command V, and we will have a duplicate of the car. Now we are going to rotate the car by clicking on Edit, go down to Transform, and flip vertical, like that, behind the layer of the car. So it looks like this. And we are going to pull it down. We're going to pull it down as such until we line it up with the actual car. Right about there. That's perfect. Right about there. And then we are going to reduce the opacity of the car reflection until it looks as realistic to us as possible. So for me, maybe somewhere around there would be perfect. One more thing we're going to do is we're done with the car. Now we are going to compress all the fires into one layer. So we go to the top layer, press Shift, Option, Command E. There we go. We have a layer on top with all the layers compressed together. And we're going to name this Final. We're going to right click. We're going to convert it to a smart object so we can make changes later. And after it converts to a smart object, we are going to go up to Filter. Okay, we are going to go up to Filter here. We are going to click on Camera Raw Filter. And we are just going to make minor adjustments to colors and such. So exposure's right around there. That's perfect. Contrast, and just maybe a little bit reduce the highlights just a little bit. Increase maybe shadow. Actually open up the shadows. Let's put the shadows, open up the shadows a little. The white, let's reduce the white a little and increase the black, decrease the black actually right around there. Let's put some clarity right around 8 is fine. And vibrance and contrast, we already took care of that. Let's now go do some sharpening. So for sharpening, let's increase luminance. I like increasing luminance first, and by pressing down the Option key, you can turn it black and white, because I think it's a little easier to see it, see the effects in black and white. And we are going to put the luminance around, let's say 40, 35. Increase the masking until we mask all the sections we want. So right around maybe there. And we'll increase the sharpening to, let's say, 25. That's perfect. And the haze, I'll leave everything else alone. And there you go. Let it load. And there you go. You have your final product. And we took this shot to this shot, looking like a studio shot. This shot to this shot. That's as good as it will get. Alright guys, that is it. So if you like my video, please make sure to subscribe for more upcoming videos. And make sure to like. Go check out my Instagram page at Khaled Photo, or the link is in the description. My website also will be in the description along with other content. Go check it out, and I will see you soon.